Alright guys, this is what I've received from my local store here in Australia. So it comes in 3 boxes, which I wasn't expecting at all. Number 23. It's got box 1, 2 and 3 of 3. Here we have the internals of box 1. Didn't realise the teeth aren't assembled. So got the bust in there, got the arms and some spikes by the looks of it. So here she is, straight out of box 1. Looks like we have the bust minus the teeth. The teeth actually wrapped up. They came sitting above this arm here, and that looks like that. So we got the bust, the arm, the teeth or the jaws, and 2 spines left in box 1. So put these teeth in and we'll start opening box 2. Also guys, on top of box 1, the lid, there's a piece which is the other arm, the other main arm. So we got the bust, 2 arms and inner jaws and 2 spines in box 1. Yeah, so just be careful because this actual top part was not taped to the bottom part. So if you're trying to slide this whole section 1 out, you'll end up only sliding this out and risk the other part of the box falling out or the bust falling out of the box when you tip it up sideways. So a bit silly they didn't tape up the whole parcel, just this part was taped up and the other part was just hanging in there loose. So that's no good, but lucky I realized that this was just a lid. It was just slowly coming off on its own, not the whole thing coming out. And I sort of stopped, lift this straight off top and then got the bust out second. So could be a bit catastrophic if you're trying to pull it out in one go, thinking that you're taking the whole inner contents of box 1 out, which is not the case. All right, so not only did I find that arm in the lid of the top of box 1, I found this underneath the arm, sort of hidden away. And also in the rest of the box underneath the 2 spines that were here is his other 2 smaller arms. So pretty much the majority of the piece is in box 1. I think in box 2 we'll have the rest of the spines and the 2 crowns, and box 3 you'll have the stand for the spare crown. So yeah, a lot of stuff hidden away which I didn't expect. All right, here she is after all the parts from box 1 are assembled. So you've got 2 dorsal spines, front 2 sort of T-Rex arms. I suggest putting them on before you put these larger ones on because they are keyed. Where these ones are basically keyed as well, but they're a lot easier to put on off than the ones in the middle are there. So jaws are on. They're magnetized, so they're quite strong. Went to put them in and they really locked on, which was great. So, yeah, and there's obviously the peg for the 2 crowns that it comes with. So I'm suggesting the box 2 will have the 2 crowns and the rest of the spines. And I've already just undone box 3 and we got the spare stand there for the one of the spare heads. So box 3, that really small one, that's all it has in it is that little piece there. So just the one that you usually get with Coolprops pieces, like our alien up there. So let's go on and get this guy or girl put together. Okay, here's top of box 2. Once again, don't slide the box out sideways, just keep it upright and lift the top lid off, it's not taped down. All right, well here she is all assembled. And it's a magnificent looking bust, seeing it in person. Wasn't really expecting something so large. It's quite a light piece still. Everything's a little bit hollow, which is not too bad. As a whole piece, it is got some weight, but individually, the piece wise, it's quite hollow. So if you remove a couple little parts and decide to move around the house, it's not too strenuous. I'd definitely probably be removing the arms, the spines, before moving it. I think the crown's pretty safe to keep on, and the inner jaws, and then the whole bus can be moved. But yeah, I would definitely want to move it with all the extremities on the piece. So yeah, quite easy to move around, but it's not as big, I'd say, as Pred Alien bus. Not as like sort of, let's say, thick, but it is quite deep and wide. So it probably takes up just as much room as the Pred Alien life-size bust, but it is actually a lot higher. So let's go and take a closer look. Try and get as best I can here. Haven't got it on a table or anything, so just bear with me. Shown before, there's the inner jaws. Yeah, these parts here, so here and here, they're all separate pieces. Got a nice blue hue over it's like a charcoal black. Arms are keyed in, they're quite long. So if I show you my arm, you can see how long that is. So yeah, they are quite big. Got these two little smaller appendage arms underneath. Now I think I mentioned this earlier. Definitely, I put these bigger arms on first, and then when I went to put these on, they have sort of like a tighter key. These keys are pretty easy; they just sort of slide in. These ones you got to sort of play around a bit to make sure they're right in. They're a lot tighter or snug fit. So I'd be putting these ones on first if you're planning to get this. I'm not sure too many places that have this still. But if you are getting it in the aftermarket or found someone that has it, definitely put them on first. They do sort of touch, but I sort of moved them slightly. They're about 1 millimeter apart now, so I've got them in nice and snug. Then I had to put the arms back on. Otherwise you have to just sort of like you're changing oil in a car, get down on your back and sort of line it up with the torch. So to avoid yourself doing that, yeah, put them on first and then the other arms. Let's go take a look at this massive crown. There's my hand again. Monstrous. Comes with 6 spines, which I had to keep finding in separate places in the box. Thought I'd covered everything in, box 1, etc. And then, dig a bit deeper, there's another one. So I'm not sure how these are displayed in the regular. This is the Deluxe, so things are spread over 3 boxes. Underneath. Plenty of detail and sculpt underneath. Sits on snugly and quite sturdily. You got these 3 spikes on each side. So these are keyed as well. There's like a circle. You sort of slide the metal peg in. These are coated, I think, silver on this side and then gold on that side, so you know which side's which. But it's pretty straightforward knowing which side's which, because you couldn't put this sort of going the other way. So they're all slightly different shapes. Some of them a little bit more bent than others. Looks like a little bit of dust there, but so they're not all exactly the same. Slightly ones, some are a bit thicker, some are bending a little bit different. This one seems a lot thinner here than this one. So there's some variation in those. The base is pretty plain, straightforward. But overall, it's quite cool. Picked this up through my local store with 20% off. So this is something I wanted last year, but I think it was about $4,000 Australian. So it was insanely expensive for the Deluxe. The regular is about 2.5, so it It was just insane that this extra piece, which I'll talk about shortly, it was an extra $1,500. So I waited for this sale, so luckily it came up on the weekend. I wasn't planning to get this just yet. Somewhere down the future I was hoping to get it. Because I'm a sucker for deluxes and exclusives, so I feel like there's parts missing if I get the regular, if there's a exclusive version. But yeah, so this dropped the price by nearly $1,000, so it was my chance to sort of act and get it. So quite happy I did now, but money shot's probably down a bit lower. If you had this at sort of eye level, get it down to about there. That's where she looks the best, I think. All right, let's go take a look at the spare crown. I actually really like this. Seeing that alien blood on it gives it a bit more detail. It sort of breaks the piece up a bit. I think so sort of two-tone all over. It sort of gives us a bit of a, you know, some highlights there. Painted a bit sloppily in this sort of area here. It's just like they got a paintbrush and just went like that in a couple of areas, but all over here looks quite good. Might swap that out soon and see what it looks like. What I didn't realize is I only made 100. So mine's number 23 of 100. And really surprised, I actually didn't expect the stand to come with the spare crown. So it's great that you can display this piece as just like, you know, one of the alien busts. It's almost like a display piece on its own. So I could actually put this on the piece itself and then use this crown as just a complete, just like a little display piece on its own. So yeah, quite happy with it, guys. As I said, it's quite light. You definitely don't want to be walking around too much around it. You want to have a nice safe space for it. You know, walking past, hitting those fingers, hitting those spines, it's not going to hold up durability wise, like most statues anyway, but yeah, definitely keep it somewhere out of reach of people and, you know, walking past yourself, because it all takes your shirt to snag those, the fingers, and it's sort of, you're going to break something for sure. Here's the instruction sheet you get with the piece. So pretty straightforward, like I mentioned earlier. All the appendages go on this one, and pretty much all that's found in the first box, besides the crowns, which are in the second box, and a couple more spikes. And then you got this part, the actual base, in box 3. So this is a new part here that doesn't come on any of the other Coolprops heads that they've made. Usually you just get this part here and that part there, and it sort of rests. This one comes with this new piece just to support the weight of the head, to make it sit probably more flat. Okay, so I've just swapped out the crowns. See, that looks like a really nice piece on its own. I actually prefer this displayed on its own more so than the Deluxe in the battle damaged head. Just as a display piece, without this other piece here, without the queen bust at all, that looks really nice just to have on display. Now I think I'm actually going to stay with this look on the bust, because this is from AVP, it's not from Aliens, so it's a different sculpt, different queen. Looking at this, sort of just gives a bit more detail in my opinion. Just breaks up some of that blue and black. And you know it's from AVP too. It's definitely got that distinct look when she's fighting Scar. So yeah, I think this is how I'm going to keep it. It's an awesome looking piece. And get a few more angles for you before we finish up. Alright guys, hope you've enjoyed this unboxing and quick look at the Coolprops Queen Alien 1/3 scale bust. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.